Welcome to the Feral Minds Podcast. You are right where you need to be, and we are glad you're here. Come seek with us as we laugh at what we have known and find direction from what our curiosities demand we learn.
And I just don't think that there's any way that you can drive on the roads and not encounter the feeling of rage. I just think it's part of being a driver on the road. I feel like we almost should teach this stuff in driver's ed.
How to properly rage on people?
No, I don't know if you how to maintain it.
Yeah.
How to utilize it. I bring this
sure
up.
They train that in some way, right? Like there's some standard training on how to avoid road rage, or what do you think the training is? Look away? Look away and hope for the best?
I mean, you got to have acceptance, forgiveness. There's always got to be a bright side to something. There's a reason it's there. I thought, man, there was this one guy that used to work for me. They had a funny story with the way he tried to bring a positive play to road rage.
That's what we need. More positive light on road rage.
This is how road rage can be
come
helpful.
on, guys. We need to advocate this crap. It's us at our best.
Well, no, but like I said, I've rolled all around. I've been in it. I've purposely even engaged in it because of the story this guy had mentioned. He said that he used it to wake up. Like if he's ever on the road and he's starting to kind of doze off.
Oh.
Roll over in front of someone. Wow. Give him a little brake check.
Get the emotions of conflict.
Yes.
And as a no-dose.
And I'll tell you something.
I would say it's genius. It feels kind of like you're hijacking somebody else's emotional train in order to get yourself all yayed up.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a very self-centered action.
I've never thought of doing that.
Okay, so
this is like evil genius then, right?
Because
that is kind of creative, because that would instantly jolt you back. You've done this?
Yeah. In his now here's. I did it with a little bit of caution, though, because as he was telling the story, he was telling me in reference to why he was late for work.
Okay, all right.
Because he had been coming into work in the morning and hadn't quite gotten enough sleep that night, decided to give this a try on the way into work, and the person followed him.
So he was using it as an alarm clock as well.
Yeah, well,
he was
like
using
a cup
it
of
to
coffee.
jumpstart his day.
A cup of coffee.
Holy
so to speak.
cow. How many people out there you think are doing that?
I wonder. I don't know.
Using road rage to crank yourself up in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe not even do it like on purpose. It could be a subconscious
And this
thing.
was a professional driver?
No, he wasn't yet.
Okay.
But he did eventually become one.
It worked its way finally through him. He became a beautiful butterfly.
Hey, well, it's like I say, we all have to have these experiences to make you better at it.
I think we've all road raged.
Yeah,
We've all road raged.
So I've done it, though. I've done it in a tired state, middle of the night, get over, and it works. Like, you do get this heightened adrenaline that comes through you all of a sudden. That can be assistful, I suppose, whenever your other option is unconscious at the wheel or in rage. Like, all right, I guess I'll pick rage this time.
You could just pull over and go to sleep.
Yes, which
that's also an option.
Again, as
Instead
I've
of going
learned,
like succubus on somebody's emotions to the nearest lane to you. So tell me about that. Is there a lot of consternation? Are you like picking the one that is least likely to come after you? Like, are you going after a minivan, or how did you choose your prey in this moment?
Whenever I honestly don't even remember. Again, we're going to talk.
You go after a smart car.
Talking a couple of decades ago.
Possible.
So I don't remember, but I guess as you're asking,
limitations, huh?
That's what I'm trying to go for.
Yeah.
All
You're not that bad guy
stories
anymore,
I like to tell.
Okay. Still, you had to pick it out. You had to give this some thought. What was it?
From what I'm remembering about the scene, it was, you're talking late at night. I'm tired. So it was just whoever was
That's
around.
good cover. That's a good cover. Still, you weren't going to pick a semi, right? No way you pick a semi.
You got to pick
one. That
one.
would really goose you. Like, you don't want to be that alive. That might throw you to straight on dead.
Man, that's funny. I guess a semi.
You're goosing like a Subaru. You're going after a peaceful, non-threatening vehicle. All right, so tell a story. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I mean, you sit my head all over, because most of what I'm going off just conjecture anyway. I was starting to think if I did it now, I'd have to go semi, because now anytime I'm driving, it's always my RV. I mean, you'd have a really hard time trying to pick pick RV road raging.
Oh, okay. So you need it not to happen. You need it not to happen, right? You got to have. Well, I don't know. I mean, you want a close call to light you up, right?
Yeah, and here's what I found is you also have to have the tool to engage in it. See, so what has gotten me away from road rage is driving larger vehicles. Whenever you get to a point that you don't have the ability to really engage in the rage,
yeah,
you start to just sit back, and you will realize how ridiculous many of the other drivers are on the road. Like, you're not getting anywhere by coming up and jumping in front, cutting somebody off. It's funny to me as you sit back in a large vehicle that can't rage and you see these things happen. You think, like, what if human beings did this, like, at the mall? Like, you're waiting in line, but you didn't move up one step right whenever somebody did in front of you. The person behind you comes up, jumps in front of you in line. This is how we behave on the road. For some reason, once we get in our vehicles.
It's metal divider.
And
courage of the metal divider.
It is. Without a doubt, I blame the vehicles that we get in.
Yeah.
And to the extent of how your rage affects the other drivers kind of depends on the vehicle you're driving.
When you cycled over the years, right? You've ridden your bike.
Yeah. I've done long bike rides.
Like around lakes longer where bikers congregate in a way that makes them the main source of vehicular movement. So is there road rage amongst the biker movements?
I have not.
I'm talking spandex bikers.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not talking about leather bikers.
Well, no, yeah. Honestly, anybody who's going to ride a bike longer than like 20 miles, you're going to have that gear on.
Okay.
It's funny, you can joke about how silly they can look with their bright colors and
they
the
look very
tight clothing.
professional. Sometimes they look sponsored, and they're not sponsored.
Exactly. It's like, you're not in a race.
This fake sponsorship gear.
You're going around the lake for exercise. Why do you need to look like a human NASCAR?
Did you shed your legs for this? How serious are we getting about the time?
You fighting wind resistance because you have no eyebrows? No. When you get to that distance of riding, you look ridiculous not putting that sort of clothing on.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you got to quite go with all the colors, but as I did it.
Does it make you feel like you're riding naked?
A little bit.
I mean, you're down to like nothing on your skin, but you also get that girdle effect. It's squeezing you a bit, right?
The squeeze, what you want is you just don't want the loose clothing. Yeah, I think you're talking 4 hours sitting in the saddle, wind coming at you. Anything that's moving around, rubbing,
so it's
catching
the best way
wind.
you can get nude without getting nude.
Yeah, that's basically what you're looking for.
Right.
Same thing in gymnastics or any of those sports. Well, you don't want your clothes in the way.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I didn't see a lot of road rage with those because, again, think about my theory. You're on a two-wheel bicycle. You're still very exposed to everything around you. You are not going to have that bubble of metal
you're not
that
driving an
gives you the rage machine.
Yeah.
And when we all have some sort of psychology when we get inside our vehicles, and then it has the potential to become this rage machine.
So have you road raged? Have you let somebody have it?
Oh, again, back early in my days of driving.
Yeah.
And, I knew that they had just done something wrong, and now it was time for me to be the vigilante on the road that's going to cut them off and hold their day up because of the foul injustice they had just done in their lane change.
But you've also
used that guy who it's a type A person.
You've used them as a no-dose as well, though, right?
Yes.
Like you went over there and grabbed some emotional spark to light yourself up. Now, it's just interesting. I'd never thought road rage. I had one incident with road rage that it's like I feel like I had to have one. Like as soon as I had it, I saw it for the horror that it was. And we were somewhere around Kansas City, and a dude came over in the lane. And then I went after him.
Yeah.
And I got real aggressive. Yeah, I got real aggressive, and I look in the rearview mirror, and my oldest daughter's crying, and it brings me back to earth. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, bro. Like,
easy there, Clark Griswold.
What did we just do? And so I needed that to happen because from that moment, I've been pretty good on road rage. I'm a pretty chill driver, but that moment, oh, dude, it made me look at myself in a way that I was like, I don't think I've ever made my daughters cry, but I just did with my immature behavior, man. It rung my bell pretty hard.
And that immaturity comes from your righteousness. You just knew.
I don't know. I just felt like
that's what I think
hopping
rage,
on the train.
Every single person gets in the rage. It usually is not, oh man, I just messed up. Now I'm mad at them. It's they think everybody else on the road has done something wrong, and they are the righteous one. that now has the right to go through and cut off and move out of the way and pass any single person that doesn't meet their standards of getting out of their way. And that's what you can tell real quick. If you're in a place where you're going to get to rage, it's whenever all you care about is you getting to your destination. And you don't care that everybody else has somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
Because whenever you're in that mode, well, now everybody that's on the road is racing you to your destination. You've got to be the fastest one there. They can't be in front of you. They can't get through this light before you do.
I think it's less about the road, though. I think what you're seeing is people are having bad days in whatever way, shape, or form, that like their wife's leaving them, somebody just ran over their aunt, whatever is going on. Like, I think you see that manifest out on the road. I don't know. I had to have one, man. It felt like it was a maturity thing that I had to go through. Had to make a little kid cry, and then I was just like, but the rest of the day I was bell rung about like, you know. And I'm not a big apologizer, but I tried to apologize to everybody, which made it just feel that much worse. And that was that shame. That was my moment. Yeah, no, I think I had to have it because, like I said, like something brought me to that place, and then from that I've been a civilized driver. I think. I think that I can see.
Well, here I have proof that I am. You know, if you're only as good as your last performance, here is the
proof that you're a great driver.
I am. I have no problem talking
like
about my
insurance commercial now.
So I'm driving here to work and coming down 2-lane road. You know, it's pretty dang tough to pass on this spot. So I got someone behind me, and they just get right on my tail.
Yeah, they get to tickling it, huh?
Yeah, and it's this obvious aggression. I'm not going fast enough kind of
There's a symbology there in what's going on.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, there's even that bumper sticker that says, if you're going to ride my ass, at least pull my hair.
There's so much wisdom in bumper stickers, man. It's some type of road warrior Bible.
This goes on long enough that, you know, I can get frustrated by it if I wanted to. I can see it's going on.
Yeah.
I decide to give the grace, you know, just wait and see how it plays out.
You're just taking it.
Yeah.
You're just taking it like a man, are you?
That's what you have to do. And
do you know it's a female at this point?
No, I really didn't.
I never expect the rage to come from females.
No.
I expect it to come from males.
No, I couldn't really see them for sure. But it is.
I'm not fair.
Well, they're the more aggressive. It's the toxicity that comes from masculinity. Anyway, no, so we get to finally 2 lanes, and they get off, and they get next to me, and I'm like thinking they're going to go on by. They slow down a little bit, and I look over, and they want me to roll down the window. And I
want you to roll down their window, meaning they roll down theirs.
Yes.
Okay.
She already has her window down.
Yeah.
And
she's inviting you to conversation.
Right. And like, I don't answer my door. I don't even hardly answer my phone. I'm not rolling my window down for someone who's just been riding my tail.
She might throw air at you. She might throw some words at you really good.
Exactly. I don't want to
words when you can't hear them that well.
I assume
I need my word barrier.
Yes. Well, that's what I would say my suggestion is for rage is don't engage in the rage.
Yeah.
And this is what I think I'm going to do by not rolling down the window.
Oh, okay.
Because the other thing I learned from that guy who said, you know, he does it to wake people up and everything. Whenever he got chased down, his words of wisdom are don't ever get out of the car. Just sit in the car until they leave.
Yeah.
That's why he was late to work that
Those are sound words, man. Those are sound words of wisdom. All right. So she's invited you to a cordial conversation.
I'm like, I'm not rolling it down. Stays adamant about it. So
what kind of vehicle is this?
Oh, like a little Honda Accord.
Oh, so you're not threatened by the imposition, right? If it was a lift kit, new F-150, you might think, there's a gun in there.
Right. It's not a scary looking vehicle.
Maybe some dude at Spy 1's going to step down and he'll have a
little Hitler complex dude's going
to
start spewing obscenities at me. No, it wasn't that kind of situation. So I was like, all right, I'll roll it down. Maybe we're going to make friends. And she says, I wasn't riding your ass. I just like to drive fast. And inside of my head, I was so frustrated. Honestly, I was like, you don't understand what's going on. And I held back. Again, my showing I don't have the rage. I said, oh, well, I like to drive the speed limit. Have a nice day.
How many times a day is she having that?
I don't know.
Did she just move on to the next person?
Yeah, she went on by me after
she's
that.
She's giving the fender to bumper colonoscopy. She moves on to the next person. And
yeah, so I end up seeing her for a while because this is what I'm telling you. If you drive slow enough vehicles or if you don't engage in the rage,
into the distance.
They don't even go that far. That's the thing. They're only probably one light ahead. Yeah. And for the next 2.5 or so miles, I'm just right there at the same stoplight she is.
Yeah.
And then I get to work and I'm like, part of me part of me wanted to keep going. And then let her see me come out in the parking lot.
It'll drag you in.
Like 20 seconds later, but not ragey, but trying to be like, hey, just want you to see how useless your aggressive driving was.
You wanted to teach her in that moment.
I did.
Yeah.
I found, but again,
God bless you.
Well, it's just righteousness. It's still just ego.
You're supposed
wanting
to teach
go
the
finish
strangers
and win the argument. Was really all it came down to.
Yeah.
I still was just trying. Here I am trying to tell all these ways I've come along, but in that moment, I still had those feelings. But I held off. I let my higher brain take over. Mm-hmm. I just went on, came into work, and just now I think about it about twice a day every time I'm driving until it will go out of my mind.
She made an impact on you.
But
she's out there touching lives.
Well, yeah, because you can't ever let go of the stuff you wish you could have said. In some ways, you'll run lines through your head like, "Oh, okay, well that's fine. You're the problem."
That one gets caught in there.
Yeah. Do you see? Or had I followed her over? You want to go win the argument.
If you get enough emotions out of any circumstance, you get you a pretty good memory. That seems to be like the mix. If you can stir those emotions, it makes some little Roman candle fire off in the back quarter of your warehouse or your mind, and you get a memory. So I've learned. So that goes with traumatic memories. That goes with great memories. But it seems like emotions play a big part in whether or not we actually get the imprint or not.
Maybe. But then again, like you're talking about, how many times do they do that a day? Have you ever been with that person who just stays in constant rage the whole time they're driving?
But there's no threat there. There's no threat. If you've seen it over and over again, the pattern tells you there's actually nothing to be scared of. When you get a stranger involved, now you don't know. Now you're off in wild card. You don't know what kind of instability. You already know you have an unstable person, somebody who came up to you for no reason and just giving it to you. I mean, that is already like, whoa, what's going on with this person? And I think what's interesting is you're trying to like make it road logical. And basically what that lady's going is, I'm having a really crappy day. That's like she's losing her mind that way.
That's what I hear. Like all I hear saying is, it's more important that I get where I'm going, and I want everybody else to get out of my way.
No,
and her feeling so good.
You want to teach her math.
And her feeling so good about that position, that she wanted me to roll down the window so she could tell me that is how correct she feels in her behavior.
Yeah,
is that she drives fast, and that's what everybody else needs to get out of her way.
Maybe but maybe those are her pickup lines. Is there any chance that she was just trying to make a connection with you? Yeah.
She was just road raging to flirt.
It's road rage riz, and that's the way you do it. You just start out with you signal I'm a very emotional, volatile person, and then somebody who comes along who's what upgraded. They feel that emotion and they go, yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I like to ram into strangers at random and see how it plays out.
That's an interesting concept, man.
And then you both go off in the distance, like, a random Sunday. You both get in a big vehicle. You just go tailgate people to get the emotions, like, all riled up.
A romance built on rage.
Yeah.
A rage rom.
It's a road heckler.
I love this movie idea.
It's a road heckler. You just go out there, you find a partner, and you Bonnie and Clyde it, and you just go raging on people, right? You're running low. You're feeling down a little bit.
Natural-born killers.
A great day.
Natural-born ragers.
Yeah. Your Prozac didn't get filled last month. You just go get those emotions filled by random strangers. It's really a succubus-style setup, right? You go take somebody's emotional stability and yin-yang it, and then you get a little riff off that.
You get the adrenaline rush.
Makes me wonder how many people are out there playing that game.
I'm a rage adrenaline junkie.
It's exciting to think what you could pull out of other people's emotional trough to fill your emptiness.
Dude, I'm telling you, I love this for a movie idea. I think we need to write this movie script.
Just call it Robin Emotions?
Yeah, no, Rage Rom. I don't know, something. But could you imagine two people that just rage on the road?
Yeah.
There might be one. Actually, there might be this movie.
They found love between the ditches full of anger.
Love and the rage.
Yeah. It's an emotional thing. I think we're all susceptible to it at any point in time. And I don't know. I think it's the only thing you could do to really just build an awareness to it.
Exactly.
Just build an awareness to it and realize that the person that's trying to engage, if you're not the initiator, is probably just having a bad day. I think that's a big part of it.
Hurt people, and they're just someone who needs some grace. I guess kind of what I'd sum it up what I was saying is, anytime you're driving, you've got the potential to get that rage. Like, you've got a potential you're going to get your finger on that rage trigger. It's going to happen. But with awareness and the ability to use your choice, you can decide not to pull that rage trigger.
Yeah.
You cannot chase that girl down to her parking lot at work and tell her how driving aggressively doesn't go any faster.
Did you ever have
go
one?
ahead and take your finger right back off that righteous, egotistical rage and continue on driving to do what you got in your car to do. Just get to your destination without getting in the way of anybody else getting to theirs.
Yeah. It's interesting how cordial we can be in person and how abrasive we can be when we get the metal boxes between us. I mean, that really is. You remember when we were at that Chris Stapleton concert about this time last year, and we end up in that concrete chute. And what were there, 14,000 people there?
Yeah, I think that's right.
14,000 people walking up this concrete chute. For the first time in my life, I had like stampede fear. I'm thinking,
if everybody takes off, I'm going
down. Like, there's no way out of this. The walls are 10 feet. Occasionally you get that dopamine from the news that tells you can die in some type of crowd incident, right? So you do have that thing floating around in your head. And it is nerve-wracking to be that tight with that many people. But we walked what was probably a quarter of a mile. What's the name of that theater we were at?
Isla Iba?
Isla, right. So a real unique theater, right? It's an outdoor theater, but
it's a beautiful
anybody familiar with it will know about that walk out. But that walk felt like it was a pretty good walk, and man, it was 15,000 people just.
And it was and
it was perfect. It worked like we instinctually knew how to do that.
Yeah. The way you're looking at that is you can't have one person decide all of a sudden, I'm the one that needs to get through here faster. It's just take off running.
Driving's teamwork.
Like, either 15,000 people get where we're going or nobody gets there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right for what happens on the road. We need to start realizing that we are still human beings. It's just because there's a metal box and we're not rubbing shoulders.
Yeah.
That we need to have some care and compassion for the fact that other people need to get where they're going too.
Yeah.
But that is a funny thought to just think about if someone took road rage mentality in that sort of a walking setting, how just maniacal you would look.
Yeah, we'd have to get them out of the group.
But we do it in our cars all the time.
Yeah, we'd have to get them out of the group. Like, if you walked individually, like let's say we were an ancient people that had to walk 100 miles. If you had one person in a let's say a tribe of 100 that was driving erratically through the walk lane, you'd have to get rid of him. Like, you get him out of the pop, right? Like, you would deal with it the way they used to deal with things. And today there's a big enough pile of us that you can kind of go out there and be the fool as much as you want. We've all been the fool at some point in time.
We are in the forest, not the trees.
I'm guilty of it. I've been guilty of drawing the courage from these little metal boxes that somehow get us feeling like we're 8 foot tall. It's amazing.
It will happen. The whole question is how much do you let it affect your life?
Yeah. How far do you walk into the rage? There's a moment where you have consciousness in a rage, and you want to deny that consciousness. And you want to have that moment, like we've talked in the past. You'll have a moment where you're like, I'm going to be angry for a minute.
What we call that?
I'm fully aware.
Conscious discontent. That's what we call it.
That's a great term for it. Conscious discontent. You're fully aware of the anger, right? Now, maybe there's supposed to be an apology. Maybe there's not. Maybe it's all on you. And you'll stay in that. I'm going to be angry for a minute.
There's something about this that needs to be right. This needs to be felt.
They need to know that I'm irritated in some way, shape, or form. But anger's a funny thing, man. When it creeps on you as an older man, you look at it like that's some immaturity coming up the pipe that I should have dealt with by now. Yeah.
Why
do I still have these little pipe offs of insecurity? But
you're pulling out an emotional flamethrower, and you've got to decide how much you're going to turn it up. What way you're going to point it.
Yeah.
And if you're really any good at working your emotional rage flamethrower, you're going to keep your finger off the trigger and keep it pointed down.
Yeah.
And after some decent life lived and some road lessons learned, that's where I feel like I can keep it.
Yeah, it's easy to
Hopefully a situation don't come along that I feel like it's time to burn it down.
Yeah.
But conscious discontent could seem like it does.
Well, when your emotions are neutral, it's real easy to maintain everything. But, you can't. And that's when you see people's behavior that defies logic. It means emotions are involved, because emotions make logic somewhat irrelevant at times, or it can make it blurry. It makes it blurry.
Yes.
So if you think back to some of those early days on the road, you're this very timid driver. You know, you're really like, I'm going to get on the highway. I got to get on the highway. They're
going so fast over there. And then you try to get on the highway going 15.
Oh, and it's like clearly you are the young duck at the pond, and people are going to have to tolerate that for a minute. And somewhere in there, you're going to get totally teed off about something in your life, and you're going to decide to go off on a stranger out on the road. And then you're going to, I mean, hopefully you have the awareness. I think that's how you combat things like this.
Well,
be conscious.
And something that I think, like we're talking about, if you do have that conscious discontent, it comes from a place of righteousness. And so if you want to point that torch in a different direction, something I kind of helped with road rage is, like, if you want to really feel like you're the best driver on the road, you need those other idiots to behave in that manner. You see it. And still be the best driver on the road. Like, you can be the most righteous person by...
You think you're the best driver on the road?
No.
No. That's what you just said.
No, but that's what I try for.
Where would you rank yourself?
Like, as
quartile.
A percentile?
Quartile, yeah. Where would you put yourself?
I would probably say 95.
Oh, dude. The way you turn left coming out of a parking lot, you light the tires all the time.
Once.
You think that makes
One time.
You light
One
the tires
time.
all the time.
One time. Okay,
Come on,
maybe it's
dude.
wise. But
it's hard to even light tires in a modern day vehicle. And you light the tires.
Hey, easy, man. You got a maximum. That thing will take off. And
I'm
whenever...
saying, 95% is a little... I'll give you like 75.
I do my 95 mainly because of my...
Man. You're hard on a vehicle.
Mainly because of my knowledge of road rules and etiquette.
Yeah.
And that comes from training drivers and then from being on the road as a driver so much.
Yeah.
When you see all the scenarios that can play out and start realizing what to watch for and an awareness that you can have, you can tell real quick when you're in the car with someone who doesn't know all that and doesn't have that awareness. And that's really where more of my forte is. And when I lower myself on the percentage is the fact that I just don't apply all that I know. I will know a bunch of mistakes I make while I'm driving. I'll just sit there and rattle off, screwed that up. Oops. All right, you didn't check that. When was the last time you looked in the mirror?
Wow, you're programmed hard, huh?
Well, I did for 6 years. That's what I did. I would sit next to people and critique their driving.
Dude, they whittled out your brain.
You can't tell me that if there is any sort of training that is
That's the danger of doing stuff for too long.
Yeah.
It turns you into a robot.
It's hard to turn off whenever you get programmed into stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's still some of what shapes my existence out there. But I've learned a lot of lessons from it that can apply across life. Yeah. Like I've talked about right here with the rage and the acceptance.
It makes you for a really good passenger as well. You're really enjoyable because you still do that driver's ed to everybody. We've never gone anywhere in which you weren't just in my ear, almost like you needed to bill me afterwards. Oh, it's nauseating, man. It is the most nauseating thing. But
it's
anyway,
probably one of my least favorable qualities. I'm trying to turn that down as per your request. I don't know if you've noticed I've done it less.
I think it's on-the-job training that's leaking out of you. And I bet you become more of that student drivers. What do they call it? A leader? Student driver teacher?
Student driver's ed teacher.
I bet as you get older, I bet you do that for fun. You go do that as just like you volunteer at the driver's ed spot. Like, hey, y'all got these spots open?
Hey, believe me, I've thought about it.
I work for time.
I mean, I've thought about doing a couple of these videos, just being like driver's ed videos on different driving topics.
You should.
I think it could be very useful for society because I'm getting into here is not just UPS's training of me. Like, there's an aspect of driving on the road and working together and the rules and regulations of it, the control of the vehicle.
Yeah, the respect.
I love the concept of transportation and driving and getting to one place to another among thousands of other people doing the same thing. So I thoroughly enjoy it, and I would love to see us do it better.
Okay. That's a weird thing to get nerdy on.
I am.
Like
I honestly am nerdy.
And it's only on the roads. Like you don't care about the waterways. You don't care about the skies. It was just the time you spent studying the roads.
Well, and that's the activity I like to do. I don't like to boat. I don't really like to fly that
You don't have the mental space to do anything other than drive between the curves.
Yeah, when you put as much thought and stuff into it as I do, that's all you got. But, I mean, there are some concepts that could come. If everybody did drive the speed limit, traffic jams would go away.
Yeah.
We would look like those computer simulated models where everything moves perfectly because it's going at the right speed. A lot of what causes all the problems on the road are just the fact people won't drive the same speed as the other drivers.
Yeah.
And anyway, again, don't want to get all that soapbox.
It's an individual
But if I could
focus.
find some way to entertainingly teach that to people,
Yeah.
and just watch that new concept blossom throughout society to where we don't need
Let's do it.
police to
Let's
be
do it.
regulating our speed.
Let's
We
do it.
all do it on our own. Man, it could be a wild place to just.
Let's do it, but let me do commentary on it. let me learn. I'll be the single student, and you just teach the world.
That's the thing. You
And any
can't
thought
teach
that
one.
comes to me,
This is
man,
the
I'll
kind
just
of-
let it go. Boop.
This is the kind of concept's got to go off like a bomb. Like, you can't just light part of the fuse. You have to drop this concept on humanity and let everybody get it at the
Can
same
we do it
time.
in 30 minutes? Or like, I mean, is this indoctrination into a cult?
Hell,
Or
I don't know. Maybe
do
we just
do?
did. Yeah, it almost would have to be. Like, you'd have to get
It's a
that sort
universal
of following
It's a
towards it.
universal agreement of how we should drive.
But here's the
for the
thing.
betterment of man.
Yeah, for the betterment of, I don't know, getting from one place to another with no traffic jams. Here's
Yeah.
the thing, though. That's not the way life always works. You need conflict. You need these things.
Oh, so
that
we're
come
not
along.
doing it now. We're
I
not
don't think
doing it
so.
now.
I'm
Okay.
already back
All right,
off.
all
Of
right.
it. How you like
You
that?
quit that one real fast. Jeez, that was going to change the world. You went from change the world to I don't think so. Probably
Well,
redundant.
because there's no law that makes sense. Absolutely. And even though it could be a utopian driving society if everybody followed a speed limit rule, it would not be a better place to live because you got to have rule breakers.
Yeah. Your preaching has so confused me. I don't know if you want me to drive well or be the viscosity that the road needs.
You got to make that choice for you.
Okay.
And so that goes back to the point, like you're saying, maybe the person that's having that road rage maybe they're having a medical emergency. Maybe there is something in their life that has created a mania that justifies their need to go faster than everyone else.
Okay.
God grant them that.
We need a
I hope
couple
my
of them.
day never comes that I need to be somewhere so badly that I have to disregard everyone else's existence on the planet. But somebody has to live that existence. And just be glad when you see that person that ain't you. Don't engage in the rage and stay off of it. Let them go have their moment and wish the best.
Unless you need them to wake yourself up.
Yeah, then go jump in
Then
with them.
go ahead and rub bumper fender, man. Get a little bumper rub and wake yourself up.
Yeah, it ain't commuting. What is that in the Rubbins race? Rubbins commuting.
It's just staying awake.
That would be
evidently.
the place we could go if we just let rage go crazy.
All right. We raged it out. We would like to thank you for listening to the Feral Minds podcast. Hopefully we triggered some curiosity that will have you seeking more. Remember, your mind is meant to run. Slap some sneakers on that bad boy and take it around the block. If you'd like to connect with us or enlist our feral thoughts on a problem in your life, visit us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or at theferalminds.com. Also remember, our thought line is always available. 24/7, we don't even allow it to sleep. And we want to hear from you. That number is 866-340-3394. Again, that number is 866-340-3394. We look forward to hearing from you.